Welcome to Cinekuest Video.
So to our 3 listeners, maybe 4, depending on the year, this may or may not be episode 49, 50, 51, 52. Actually, it'll be either 51 or 53 because it just depends on the release order.
You'll know the number when you see it, okay? Excuse me.
Yeah, don't listen to Ray. He doesn't know what episode
I'm not.
He's getting old and adult at his ripe age of 13. So
yeah, it takes its toll.
It does. Okay, so welcome to Cinekuest Video episode
something.
Welcome to Cinekuest Video. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the movie Beyond Reanimator, which concludes our trilogy of the Reanimator trilogy.
Do you think that they'll put out another one at any point?
No, but we may have a hand in that. At the end of this episode, we'll discuss that.
This came out in 2003.
After you brought that up, Ray, like drunk brain started like catching back up, and I started to remember like little snippets of stuff that was discussed for the potential sequel.
Right.
Oh,
looking forward to that, dudes.
We're not including our plans.
Not yet.
But like it's been 17 years, so I mean, who knows? Like there could still be a chance, guys. Don't be negativo.
I was like 17 years from the movie that has come out.
Because I mean, it was
in 2003, so
13 years after like Beyond our Bride to
yeah. So who knows? Beyond. You know, actually, maybe you know what? It's maybe it's coming around.
You know, Jeffrey Combs is still alive. Barbara Crampton's still alive.
Yeah. Dude, Jeffrey Combs still looking good, man.
Yeah, everyone's still looking good, man. So like, just bring them all out.
Do it.
The only problem is Stuart Gordon's dead. Brian Usna is still alive, so he could probably direct and write the next.
I mean,
let me say
he's
gonna direct, but MoQuest Studios is gonna write the next sequel.
Well, actually, I think at this point, if it's gonna be like an actual 4th movie, apart from the plot that we'll present in a bit. Probably in like 2 hours from this point. But probably at that point, fucking good old Jeffrey Combs is going to have like, he might have like a directing credit or a producing credit for this.
That would be fucking cool.
Because dude, like
the next Reanimator.
I'm actually pretty surprised that he didn't have like any like producing credits for for this movie.
I have an idea. We're not going to message Jeffrey Combs. What we're going to fucking do...
We're going to pitch the script.
Is we're going to go to the convention and give him the script that we're proposing for the sequel to Beyond Reanimator.
Dude, and then Jeffrey Combs is going to be all excited, right? Like he's going to be all super happy.
It should be titled...
stoked and be all excited. And then he gets home and he throws it in the fucking fireplace because there's another stack of like
and you know what?
Reanimator 4 like scripts from fans.
At least we will help warm his toes. I'm still cool with that.
Right. You know what's gonna happen is that we're gonna give him an actual physical copy, a hard copy.
Yeah.
But we're also gonna DM him on Twitter. Yeah. Then we're also gonna email him if he has an email. We're gonna give him all versions of this fucking
Google
thing.
Drive link.
Yeah, we're gonna send it to fucking everyone. Everything.
We're gonna inundate him. So like tentative title, I'm just spitballing here. Revenge of Reanimator. Subtitle: Fuck Dan.
Well, I mean, that has to be amended because we can't have like cursing in the fucking title.
I mean, you know, Fudge Dan.
That's the working title right now.
Fruit Dan. My point is, Dan's a dick.
All right. And we'll find out why in just a moment.
Reanimator 4, Dan's comeuppance.
The comeuppance of Dan.
Okay, so Beyond Reanimator was made in 2003. Came out in April. Well, it was probably made in 2002, but it was released in April 4th, 2003. It runs 95 minutes, and it actually was shot in Spain.
It's billed as a
Spanish-American horror film. And if you actually see any special features, if they have that in a DVD or Blu-ray,
we need those.
I don't have those, but you can go on YouTube and see making of Beyond Reanimator.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw it probably about 2 weeks ago, and I was a bit confused when I was listening to the actors speak, and everyone's speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then Brian Usna speaking Spanish. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? Huh. The only person speaking English, and I think is the guy that plays Howard Phillips, and Jeffrey Combs.
I was about to say, holy fuck, you speak Spanish?
No, he doesn't.
That's awesome.
Actually, I thought he was gonna. I was
That
like,
would've been cool.
he's amazing. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude.
God damn it.
Actually, he speaks Portuguese, but they just like thought English was easier.
So I mean, apparently, again, this is a Spanish American movie. It was made in Spain, and I think it was because it was a bit cheaper, and
that
they were able to
explains like some of the fucking like the wardens like.
Their accents are very, very like.
Yeah, and they mentioned that in one of the videos I saw regarding this movie, is that like and I didn't notice it at first.
Spaniards are running around calling people essay.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that like some of some of the inmates had that kind of
Yeah, they do. They
accent,
do have most of them have a Spanish accent. The main character or the co-star, the main squeeze or whatever.
What was his name? What? Sorry, I'm
his
thinking about the
name was
guy
Howard Phillips.
No. The prisoner who wanted to fuck up West because of his Ratty.
Yeah,
I don't know if he ever got a name in that fucking movie.
Let me have a look. See.
Well, actually, there may have been one scene where the guard goes up and initially antagonizes him about how like, oh yeah, well West likes animals. Maybe you should ask him what happened to your Ratty.
Is this him?
The guy, that guy who plays, is it? It's not. No, that's not Speedball. Is it? Is it him?
Hold on. Let's have a look. See. No, that's the druggie.
No.
I think it's him.
Moses. No, that's the bald-headed dude.
Oh yeah,
Moses.
Is like looks like a zombie already.
Winnie.
Yeah, he could have been Lurch in the new movies.
Cabrera.
It's probably Cabrera. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I remember
Enrique
the name.
Arce. Is that his name?
Enrique Arce.
Well, all these actors were fairly well known in Spain. And
so
I'm surprised they got him to get in this fucking movie because I think from what I've read, and maybe there's some corroboration on this, is that the movie was initially premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel.
So that I understand it, European actors are not as discerning or as picky as fucking Americans or whatever. Like,
is that true?
Because a lot of them, they do like daytime fucking stuff. Like,
I wonder if Renee Zellweger and fucking Matthew McConaughey would do like a return to fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 7 or something.
Maybe Matthew McConaughey. Maybe.
If it has the word Texas in it, I'm pretty sure.
She's had quite a bit.
Do I get to take my shirt off?
She's got a bit too much prestige. I don't know. She might not.
Really? Right now? She needs to show some respect to her beginnings, you know?
Right. She needs to go back to her roots. I don't know. But yeah, so like some of them have very strong accents. Some of them have like they're a bit more Americanized, but they come out like I was trying to remember the name of the chick that plays the news reporter, and like when you first meet her, like she sounds very like she has I think she has a very American accent, but when she gets angry later on, like you hear the Latina spice or whatever coming out like in her tones. You know, she starts rolling her R's a little bit and. You know,
her name is Elsa Pataki, I think. Pataki.
Yeah. And actually, she's a brunette,
which is
dude.
Laura.
Her, like IMDb photo, like she's like Raven Brown or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
No, I thought she was pretty fair skinned. I don't know.
I think it's the blonde hair that maybe the contrast of the blonde hair that maybe that
yeah, you know what? You're right.
Gave her some extra
No.
whiteness.
You guys are right. It's not a natural tan though. I'll say that right now. This chick spends time like, you know, burning her skin or whatever. So I mean that's cool. But I think I threw myself off there just a scooch. So who wants to roll in through the story for this? Because it starts
1, 2, 3, not it.
yeah. Second.
Okay, so basically the movie starts off with these two kids. We find out one of them's name is Howard Phillips. Yeah, play on the
H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Off of Howard
which is
West.
he's not a really good actor either. So
He's
no.
The kid, no, he's terrible.
I was.
I'm gonna say
maybe,
like the people.
I may be reaching here, and you know what? Maybe I'm an asshole, but I would say
folks-
outside of Jeffrey Combs, none of them are good actors.
Sure, for this type of movie, I would agree with you.
I don't think any of them are good, which is why I again go to.
They have a very soap opera type of
exactly, which
delivery.
is why I say that a lot of European actors are not particularly discerning. If they get a movie gig, they're like, "Fuck yeah, I'll do it," because most of them come from fucking daytime drama.
Roland,
TV
I think
series.
you're stereoptyping. And
You know what?
I'm not
I
sure
could
if
be.
that's-
I could be. But the thing
that's
is, like,
okay on
this
this,
is a stereotype
podcast.
from experience. All right. I've got family that watch a lot of that shit on Netflix and Hulu and all this crap, and I can always tell, like, oh man, that's dubbed from Spanish. Like, nope. Yeah. So, excuse me.
I'll give you that, Roland. The actors on this movie.
They they're not
do
it a bit.
They overdo it,
Do you remember when? I mean, spoilers or whatever. Just we'll get back into the story in a bit, but like one of the funniest scenes to me was when Laura Olney dies, and like when she's brought into the lab or whatever, and Howard sees her. And do you remember the camera when he's like, no, the camera like does this like zoom in and out like fucking pan real fast.
It did.
It was fucking hilarious. No, my nookie. Like I laughed so hard at that shit. That was so much, so much like a fucking daytime drama,
it's funny that you say that but I don't think Mr. Howard Phillips, whatever is Barry something is his name. I don't think he's Spaniard though. I think that's the only Jason Barry.
Tommy Dean Musset.
No. That's the young one.
Sorry,
Jason Barry is Dr. Howard Phillips, who is the child that grows up.
He's from Dublin.
We see, like, yeah. I mean, can we determine what soap operas are like in Ireland?
So like you watched.
But Roland, you talk about Europe, so you're an expert on the EU, right? And Ireland's part of the EU, so like, why don't you know about that?
Wait. Fuck you guys! Don't turn this on me. We're all on the same team here.
We are on the same team, but I'm not being a good friend. I'm being a great friend by saying you're talking out of your ass right now.
That's an excuse. I every time I hear that, I know some bullshit. It's gonna be thrown at me.
Well, I assume that every time you open your mouth, bud.
That'll teach me. Anyways, so I was gonna ask you, Ray, when you saw the making of this movie, did they have any like sort of cameo or interviews of the actors in particular?
Well, yeah, they did of all the actors, but this guy, I think this guy he seemed fairly not Spaniard.
Wouldn't it be funny if,
like if he's Irish, like, did he have?
So say they conscripted these like Spanish nationals as extras for the movie. Wouldn't it be fucking funny if none of them knew any English, but they just learned enough for the movie? And so in the interview, they're just like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, it wasn't dub. The thing is that in the making of, they spoke Spanish and English, and I mean their accent didn't seem. Their accents didn't seem too prevalent.
Their accents in English, you mean?
Well, it's because
exactly.
I mean, like on the real though, like Spain is like super
that's all.
continental, and it's not like a real surprise for
They spoke
folks in Spain or France or Germany, like all those like little countries over there to like speak, multiple languages or have like at least a decent amount of fluency in multiple like tongues. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating, man. Like.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if it was like a bullshit factoid, but at some point I read I think it was in Germany that students are acclimatized or whatever, or like have courses in 8 different languages that aren't German.
Cool. So, I mean, like, I'm speaking for myself here, but like, I want to say like, maybe like I can maybe speak for the rest of you as well, that like I like making fun of accents because I think they're interesting as fuck to me. I mean,
are you linguistic comedian or something?
Oh, fuck yeah! That would be. I mean, it just sounds like fun.
A
to fucking do
linguinian.
that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like you understand,
People think it's racist, but you're just.
I mean,
you're
it just
you're
depends.
You're just having fun with linguistics.
It depends on the context. I mean, racism being the fact that like, oh fuck these guys, they're scum. No, absolutely not. Like it's. I think it's interesting. Like I want to know, like, okay, where's that particular dialect coming from? Why do you roll those R's so hard? Or like, where exactly does that particular habit of speech come from? I mean, like, whatever. Like, nobody has to fucking believe me. I could care less. But like that's where I'm coming from with this. I like to make fun of things because it makes me laugh. But at the same time, like I'm Mexican American, but I don't have I have no heavy accent insofar as that goes. I would have the Americanized accent. My family looks at me and they're like, "You don't speak like any of us," kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, "Fuck you guys! That's racist. How dare you?"
For any sort of clarification on the talents that Roland portrays as far as his accent comedian or accent comedy stylings.
Oh, you mean
check out Beverly Hills Ninja and Ninja 3 Domination episodes 3 and whichever
and Last
other one
Action
that is.
Hero, where I do my best portrayal of Schwarzenegger in the world.
Wow. Have you really thought about your accents in the context of how you like kind of came about? Because like Orly, your twin, has a similar kind of like cadence to his speak and shit.
I think Orly's a little bit slower.
Yeah,
he is, but I think that's just like for like whatever reason the twins at some point kind of
surprise.
Roland got to the point where his brain rolls a little bit too fast for his tongue sometimes, and so that's where I think some of the fuck ups are. Like I think like his mouth hasn't caught up to his brain.
Yep.
But he's still talking. And I think Orly is the opposite. Like Orly has that like,
tick.
Let me step back, and when I speak, it's going to be all collected or whatever.
Yeah. No.
And I'm not sure which is actually advantageous. Because you guys are both lateral thinkers. Sorry to get into this like psychology session of twins.
I appreciate the lateral comment.
Wow. But yeah, but you guys both think laterally, which is a good thing. And I just wonder, like, I just don't have enough data for it where it's like, is the approach of like Orly to kind of like think before he leaps
somewhat
advantageous, or is your leap and figure as you go approach?
I see it as a crutch in this case. In my case,
I hope he doesn't listen, Roland.
In my case, it is an advantage over all of you mere mortals that do think before you speak. Pshaw! Ha!
Back to the synopsis. Okay, so this movie takes place 13 years later, but the opening of the movie supposedly takes place immediately after the ending of part 2. There's kind of zombies running about, and one of them kills the sister of a young Howard Phillips, and Herbert West gets arrested.
Right. So
and the kid
to the second movie
but the kid picks up a syringe with the agent in it.
The reagent. Do you remember when the second movie started to the gap between the second and the third movie to where it started? Because I thought when the third movie started, it wasn't too long.
I think it's immediately afterwards because
I think that like part of the chaos from the end of the Bride of Reanimator, because you have a lot of bodies being reanimated and little shenanigans going on.
Needless to say,
I think that like one of the people of, because I think, was it the first movie or the second movie where they coined the term Miskatonic Massacre?
The second movie.
It's the second movie. Yeah,
that's
referring to the first movie
when the douchebag cop
as an extension of the Miskatonic Massacre. You know, this poor co-ed gets fucking moitered in front of her brother and
her
buddy.
father and the rest of them nutbags.
Well, just to be clear, is that they make it a point to show that the brother, wherever this house or these suburbs are situated, is that they're located near the cemetery where Herbert and Dan were living.
Needless.
Living here. So like after all that chaos happens,
So, yeah, it's
and
just
everything's
like
running amok,
like
like
the-
that so happens where that zombie comes in and like kills the sister.
Spoilers, at the end of the
But,
second movie,
okay, so-
Herbert doesn't die. He survives.
Yeah.
So what I want to wonder is, so start of the movie, so with our premise that whatever happened to Dr. Phillips' sister was a byproduct of the events of Bride of Reanimator.
Yes.
Herbert was arrested, but is it that moment when the trial happens, which we'll get to in a little bit, as to why he's in jail?
Well, I mean, I think since he's in the vicinity, and I think there may have been some pending evidence because of the massacre prior, and the fact that the police officer from the second one was investigating him almost illegally. It seems.
Oh no,
is that
absolutely. That guy was a piece of shit.
Maybe like
broke
he
all the rules.
Since all this shit happened, he seemed like a suspect. They take him in, and then we find out later. I don't want to get into it just yet, but we'll find out later why he's in jail.
The reanimated being or whatever in the beginning of the movie do they ever explain where that guy came from? Was it just like billed away as like one of Herbert's experiments, or was that like one of the people from the
it doesn't say specifically.
It was
cemetery.
never clear, but
Yeah, it was never clear as to who
I
that
was
guy
just
was.
thinking
you,
about
so going back to Bride of Reanimator, it's not necessarily clear how long Dan and Dr. West were at that facility, but it was pretty clear that at least a good number of experiments were pissed off at West that broke through towards the end of that movie. But I wonder about like the experiments that like ran out, which could be like the dude who kills fucking Philip's sister. Emily, I believe was her name.
Damn it.
Who are you talking about? I'm sorry, who are you talking about?
The sister. What was the name of the sister?
The sister.
I don't know the name of the sister.
No, it was Emily because fucking Dr. Phillips later like fucks it up.
Yeah, at the end of the movie when he's like,
because he's calling Laura Emily.
Right, yeah.
Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry, Laura. Yeah.
Good thing I watched the movies today.
I did too, but a fat lot of good.
You clearly paid attention.
Absolutely, as always, give it a portion of my
yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, so we find out that in the movie that Herbert has been in jail for 13 years, and he's still kind of working through his experiment, and he's kind of found some other type of ingredient to make his reagent a bit more successful. And
not
Roland,
necessarily successful.
Well, it's called nanoplasmic energy.
Yeah,
that he extracts from a rat.
Yeah.
How he does that necessarily, I'm not too sure. But
a living organism.
Well, actually, it's revealed at the end of the movie how he extracts the NPE.
Okay, he just shocks the shit out of him.
Yeah, like that scene. Well, we'll get there, but like, and actually, goddamn, I want to like state this now, but Herbert West is an absolute scientist to the core.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
like, he is totally the ends justify the means.
I will say, like,
thinking.
Out of the three movies, by the end of this one, he does not give any fuck about anyone, like, or anything, like, sort of getting in his way or like, sort of like impeding his research, and
you can say that reason is because of what happened, the relationship between he and Dan.
Out of the three movies, I like this one the least. But I will say that, like, Herbert West by this point is the darkest, like, most fucking like surgical, clinical fucking scientist in his
so what's your
in the experience of all
sir?
three of the movies by this point.
So what's your complaint?
No, like, fuck off. My complaint is that these movies,
like,
the third one is not as good as the others. All right, there. I said it.
Okay, I will admit that
I remember. Okay, so like we did leave
we're
off
gonna rank
before
these
how
movies-
you wanted to argue that the third movie was better than the second, and I wanted to hear your.
We'll talk about that at the end. All right.
Okay.
You have to wait on that.
All right, we'll get there, bitch.
That's right. Amuse me.
And I'm not sure to whom that bitch was directed at.
Oh, fuck you.
Whether
I know where it was fucking
Roland for
directed.
combating shit or Ray for stopping it for later.
Yeah.
You.
Let's unpack all the movie first before we get to those thoughts. You know,
Right, yeah.
And let's try and unpack
back to the plot. Back to the plot.
as condensed as we can before we have to go through each thing.
Also, fucking.
So where we left off,
we find out that
was
Herbert's
Herbert
in
West
prison.
is
He's still working on his MPE, the nanoplasmic energy, which
Still working on. He's
still working on it.
discovering
Yeah, and apparently it
but Ray
prevents
got
the
a supplement.
degeneration seen in previous instances.
an enhancement to
Yeah.
the reagent.
Right,
is
what
exactly.
we forgot though, dude.
That's which is the end game to fucking this whole experiment is that it's to perfect the reanimation of
right.
life.
But dude, we forgot a whole bunch of plot because I'll just go through it now.
Okay.
So the last we left off in like kind of the plot synopsis run through was we saw young Howard Phillips watch Herbert West being arrested.
Right.
Spans 13 years later.
Yep.
And don't forget the fact that is that Herbert West motions with his eyes to Howard Phillips that he sees from the cop car to pick up the syringe with the reanimating agent.
Yeah, that was funny.
And the kid picks it up.
Yep.
Right. And I surprisingly, being a kid, you would think that he would just like push that shit out. You know, but he's and we're gonna get to that is the fact that he's kept that for 13 fucking years.
Yeah, and that is a very significant, not necessarily plot point, but like starting off to the standing point to the
and in
story.
prison, Herbert has not had access to his original
Nope,
reagent.
he hasn't had access to shit, and the guy still figures out a way to.
But he's still experimenting.
Absolutely.
And so going back to when you brought up the, was it the other reagent thing?
Right, the NPE, nanoplasmic energy.
Yeah, NPE.
So he's practicing it on various, like,
but he figures out the NPE while he's in fucking jail. But he doesn't have access to the reagent. But like, it's really dope because like the whole time, and it's revealed later in the movie, but he spent 2 years in solitary.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where he told, a character we'll talk about later that's when he did his best work.
Right.
And
Right,
that's
yeah.
kind of like and that's
the
fucking,
guy is fucking
like kind of
relentless and
terrifying,
awesome.
dude.
Yeah.
It's like I have nothing but my own thoughts and
perfect. Right. Like,
what,
he
I am
ends up
very
figuring out
confident
how
in
to
my own
get
abilities.
everything he needs.
And this is what I think is some of my best shit.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
I had
fucking-
nothing to work with.
It's fucking
and
nuts.
that is
Like-
fucking badass.
He's like a fucking rock star that just like disappears for like half a year or some shit or whatever, and like they just go into their own hole, and then they pull out this fucking epic ballad.
A literal hole.
Yeah, a
and
literal hole.
just
yeah.
sits. I mean,
and he just sits there and fucking
Herbert
like,
West sitting in a quiet room for 2 years with nothing but
his
the
thoughts.
sound of his own thoughts hitting him back
apparently
is probably the most productive he could ever be.
yeah,
which
Yeah.
is wild to think about.
it really is. I mean, he starts off with basically pulling some jumper cables out of the electrical socket and just shocking the shit out of a rat. And which it's the funniest thing, dude. When he has the little book that he unfolds, and it's got like a little like,
Well,
like
dude,
almost like a
that's
gurney.
the rat that he fucked with.
Ratty.
Like, so yeah, the Bible we saw with his Bible. He had like a
Right.
cut out page section where there was like a metal
Yeah.
surgical table
Like a
with
table
like
on
straps
there, and
and
he's got like
stuff.
little Velcro straps and shit. He pulls out and just straps over the rat and shocks his ass, and
But then his fucking notebook, because that
right,
when
the
he killed
page.
Ratty, which comes up later,
yeah.
when he killed that rat, that was rat number 18 that he had experimented on. That was in his fucking notebook because he's like calculating like the loss of mass or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so he was talking about the loss of mass of the human body, and then he extrapolates that particular ratio to animals. He's like, oh yeah, they lose like 4 to, was it 5?
Well, no.
or
Like
something
he just found that like like between humans and like rats, like that they lose the same amount, but it's just proportional.
Right. Yeah. He
So
finds
it's like
he
we
finds out
lose
the
like
ratio.
8 ounces, they lose 2 or whatever.
From like people to like whatever the hell he's working on. In this case, rats. And I think for the rat, it was like 3 to 4 grams. And I was just thinking,
Right.
when he says that to myself, I was thinking that like, okay, yeah, like people lose weight when they die because they empty their colon,
shit themselves,
like their bladder. Like, yeah, they shit themselves, you know. And then he's just like, yeah, like you're saying rat 18 or whatever the fuck I'm getting to. I'm just like, so like every time like he kills one of these guys, like he's like they like it just craps itself all over the place. And he fucking like he's there with like a bag or something and a scale and he just measures it or like I don't know, like it's funny and gross.
Well, maybe his little surgical table in the Bible is also a scale.
Yeah. and
I mean, he's crafty.
Regarding the fact of Herbert West in prison, we have to bring up the fact is that the reason he is in prison was because his trusty assistant Dan Kane
trusty worthless
turned over evidence to
evidence,
goddamn
was it the FBI or the state or something
like that?
Or the federal government?
I think
That
West said it was
motherfucker,
state's evidence,
dude.
and
Just like said whatever the fuck he needed to say to save his own stupid little ass.
and Roland and I attributed it to
shit.
the fact that Francesca was his reason.
Right.
Like, I can't go to jail
You know what?
and miss out on this
lose
piece.
that
no,
shit? Yeah,
absolutely
that's
not.
funny.
And you know what? Like, I can't say that in his situation I wouldn't have done the same. Because holy shit, that is that's a beautiful woman. So what are you gonna do? Like,
well, dude,
if she was
like,
not there, I would
so-
say fuck him all the same.
So say that like
All the
Dan
same.
and Herbert went to prison. I think that like Herbert would have totally been like the alpha in that situation. They probably got like jail cells like near each other, kind of.
Dan would have absolutely been his bitch. Yeah. No.
But like fucking Herbert goes in and like trash cans the dude trying to rape Dan or something, like
Right.
that is my bitch. And then they like, we need to find a space for our experiments, and like,
So
what are we gonna use?
I
Rats.
did I think prison toughened up Herbert in this one because in the first 2 movies he gets fucked around by like everybody or whatever, but in this one like he beats the fuck out of like what like this the Cabrera or whatever at the end of the movie. Even though
he starts beating the shit out of people.
yeah, like he
toughens
right,
up
yeah,
for reals.
he toughens up. Like he fucks up the warden, and then he fucks up that other asshole towards the end of the movie, which I would say is somewhat out of character, except that in the second movie,
actually, like
in the second movie, like when Herbert gets access to a gun, like he fucking starts blowing people away and shit. You know, like that was cool.
like-
but in this one, like. You know
I
what?
was
It would have been
surprised at
cool
his
if like he had like a
evolution.
tattoo or some shit of like the reagent, like the syringe or some shit. And you know, throughout the like at the end of the movie, he could have showed off some. I don't know. Like that would have been funny. But prison does change a man, or in his
well,
case,
dude,
him.
like, but for about half of his combat tactics, they were like going back to the first 2 movies where it's like, oh, this guy's out of hand who's a human. Let me hit him over the head with something heavy.
yeah.
And then he's like smacked around otherwise for the most part, because like in this movie, he gets bitch slapped around a ton, dude.
Yeah, he does. Well, here and there. So ipso facto, like, Howard Phillips.
Yeah, go ahead.
Howard Phillips grows up, you know, to like become, I guess, like a pre-med or some shit.
No,
Like,
he's a doctor now.
he's a doctor.
Well, no,
like he takes his.
actually later the reporter chick asked him like why he's doing his residency.
Yeah, he's
at
doing
the
his
prison.
residence. At the,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So what he does
so,
is
like-
he finds out where Herbert is state sentenced, and he ends up going there to become their resident doctor, specifically to hook up
Work
with
with him.
Herbert
Yeah.
West. And so this is where I find it a little odd. You would think that, or I would think, excuse me, or would sort of expect that, oh, like he wants revenge or he's like got a chip on his shoulder. But he.
What I'm wondering about is the background check.
How so?
Because we're like, well, and this guy's requesting to
yeah.
work
You
with
would think that
West.
there'd
Like,
be
why
some
would he
kind
want
of,
that?
like,
And it's like, his
conflict
sister
of
got murdered
interest
by
or
one of his experiments. Like,
interest.
maybe there's a caution there. So maybe the revenge trope that you brought up, or
these guys don't give a fuck.
no.
You know, they apparently just
they
need
just don't
whoever they
care.
can take at this point.
which I think is fascinating. Like, it's like they just didn't go like, oh yeah, like Phillips didn't change his name. He's like, oh yeah, I'm still the same little boy. And so
Right. I mean, he basically is well. Sans the hate.
So I'm surprised he doesn't have like some kind of again some grudge to Herbert West,
Right?
Regarding the death of his sister.
He doesn't. It's the exact opposite.
He has. It seems in the very beginning that he has like a sense of scientific curiosity to find out what is going on, and I assume he may have. Maybe researched prior to this whole thing because he knows where Herbert West is.
He said he did.
Yeah.
Right.
And he
studied.
He wants to find out what's going on with the reagent.
He did when he like talked to West. He was like, doctor. He's like, I know who you are. Like,
right.
They tried to like cover up your strange experiments, but they failed. Like
he was going to be interested in trying to resurrect his sister, his dead sister.
Well, by this point,
I mean, I don't know.
13-year corpse.
I was trying to like just think of a reason. Like, why would you do this? Like you were traumatized by this
shit,
fucking
man,
event
to like preserve life, dude. Like he was totally traumatized, I think, and it just like drove him to be a doctor. Like,
and it just turned into.
And he knew that Herbert was into reanimating, so it's like that's
when
taking death out of.
He essentially just like
hands,
forgets and forgives or for whatever the hell, doesn't he like you said, he doesn't hold any grudges. Like he's just sort of like, hey, that was a cool experiment. Let's study it further, or let's work on this together. He ends up holding that reagent or whatever, right, onto it for 13 years,
right?
That Herbert West left behind, and ipso facto, whatever, they just coincidentally have someone to test it on as he gets to the day of. When I was watching this earlier, I was trying to get some fucking like some clips or some like dialogue that was funny to like look through or whatever, like as far as the movie goes, and I really only had like a few things from the beginning. Basically when they first meet, so he meets Herbert West. No, excuse me. He meets the warden. They take him to the what's the place called? The death room or the death ward or some dumb shit like that. So
death
like
place
this is
or something. Yeah.
Sorry, what, dude?
Like death place or something like real generic
some
or whatever.
stupid shit like that. Like, so this prison is set up to the warden's particular philosophy. And like, it's just dumb shit where like, an idea can be a disease and it can spread and you have to, like any particular disease, if it, like a tumor, you must cut it out. And, and Howard is like, but, what does he say? Some growths are benign. Like his argument, like in the moment when the warden is passing down his philosophy, he looks so angry when he's saying this, and the warden's like, well, not in this place. It's just very fucking cheesy. And so he finds a patient that I don't really know what happens. Like it was the guy that's always like sort of quoting like biblical verse or like biblical.
Yeah, turns out the dude has a heart attack.
I have sinned. This is hell, and like we've all died. I've died, and this is hell, or whatever. So that guy has like a stroke, I guess.
Roland.
He does. He has a heart attack.
Like it's not really explained what happens.
But he has a heart attack.
Excuse me. Thank you. He has a heart attack, and then like they take him in the day that Howard comes in.
Roland, wait a second. Wait a fucking second. Because Wes has gotten harder in prison, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you think he staged that heart attack?
I like that.
Well, I mean,
like that.
he did not.
But how?
He didn't
But how?
necessarily
Like,
know
he
that
doesn't necessarily
Howard
have
Phillips
any-
was coming with the reagents.
Like he doesn't really have any
but he had
influence or
access to the fucking like medical cabinet, so you could like spike something or whatever.
I mean, maybe, but I
Or,
don't think.
you know
or
what
just like
is
a
that
routine checkup,
on that same
here's your
day that-
insulin shot diabetic
on the
guy,
same day that
and
Howard
then,
Phillips
like,
shows up, he gets a reassignment, right? Right? Doesn't
Yeah.
he get like a reassignment to like the medical ward?
Right? Yeah, he's reassigned
Yeah,
to. No.
Because,
Howard,
Phillips-
came in to be their resident doctor, and then Herbert.
No, but he
gets
requested
reassigned to
Herbert
be
as
his
his
assistant.
assistant. Yeah.
And
I think at the
like
request of
coincidentally,
Howard,
like the same day, and I just thought it was funny
Howard
as
did
fuck.
arrange it because the
Because-
fucking warden was like grilling him at the beginning. He's like, and I see like asked for like one inmate to assist you like in the medical ward or whatever.
Right, he needs a
and
buddy
it's fucking West, and he's like, what
because
the fuck,
like no one else is qualified. And it just so happens, again, a lot of coincidences here. Just like, okay, because plot, sure, why not? But I just thought it was really funny because like when they take Moses into the ER, I guess, and like he dies, like he had like they're not able to resuscitate him. They try to zap him with the fucking paddles and all that kind of stuff, and it's just nobody. And I fucking love that scene because Howard gets angry. He's like, "Oh, no, God damn it!" It's like, dude, you just got here, and he's like, "God damn it, he was my patient." And and then Herbert's there, and he's like, for 5 minutes, and like he's dead. And then that's when Howard is like, "Well, I actually came here to meet you. I have this reagent for you." And that's
His
when
face.
like his yeah, you see fucking Herbert's face like boner, and he's like, "Oh, but maybe it's let's try it. Like we've got a good chance. He's
not aware of whether or not like the reagent has
right. He
deteriorated.
says that like
maybe
like
there
you've
was some, like,
held this for a long
degradation or
time. Like
whatever.
what are the odds
Yeah.
that it's still effective? And so they stick Moses. And they both turn away and they're like, "Oh fuck, like this was a waste of time. This is dumb." And then of course Moses sets his ass up, and they both turn around like, "Yee!" Like he's alive or whatever.
I think Howard wasn't completely aware of the magnitude of what entails when it comes to reanimating someone.
Maybe
because I mean, when he actually does it,
no, he isn't.
He really is. He almost kind of like freaks out
he
because
is very much like an avant-garde researcher with this. He's like, I found this. I've created this formula, and like we've got things to test it out on, but like. It's untested. Like there's really nothing to say. Like it's as far as its shelf life, its fucking efficacy,
right.
It's fucking like.
Yeah, because I mean, Herbert hasn't had the Reanimator, reagent sitting for that long.
No, he absolutely
to test it.
Yeah, and so
and also,
like, it just
like,
turns
he
out
had
that the
like
shit
no
is
data
super
on it,
effective.
dude. He was just like, dude, that was like dropped 13 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got my little nod kid to like pick it up
Right,
and like meet me later
he
in
just
life.
held on to it, just blew the dust off, and like, hey, let's try it out. But
yeah,
it works, and that's when
West
that's when
had
he's
no
like, well,
data.
you know what to expect. Like, you should tie his ass down and like watch out. And they don't. And of course, Moses like bites someone's arm or like
security one of the security people.
Right. He like rips off like his arm because like he's already been declared. Well, excuse me, unofficially declared dead, and then they bring him back. Then the warden comes in and they're like, "What's going on?" And Moses is like, "Oh," because like, so the warden has such an effect. He basically rules that prison with fear. Everybody just does not fuck with him. This is an old fart with a cane, and like everyone is like scared out of their shit about getting beat down with this goddamn cane.
Just real quick, I don't recall this because the last time I saw it was when we all saw it together. Was when he injects him with the reagent, and Moses comes back, and he's actually speaking.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't injected him with the new.
No. He hadn't hit him with the MPE yet.
Okay.
No,
Right.
they didn't use that on Moses. They
Yeah,
just used
no,
the
like it
straight
was
up-
and I can understand that, right? Because like early on in the movie, it showed like West with the fucking NPE like in the little capsule,
Right.
but it didn't explain shit. But they just used the reagent on Moses and
Right. And
then
so
chaos
like Moses,
And I was gonna say because like I mean he's speaking, and yet he still has
he seems fairly lucid.
Yeah, but I mean, you can also attribute that to the fact is that the last time they used this particular reagent, the girl that they did reanimate in the second movie, she was speaking also.
Yes.
So I mean, they have the ability to
They
communicate.
have like some form of cognizance.
What do you want?
Rudimentary. Right. Yeah. And I thought it was hilarious because throughout this whole movie, Moses is always like, after he gets injected and brought back, he always plays like he seems crazy until like the warden shows up or like a few guards, and then all of a sudden he becomes very timid at first until he gets close.
Yeah.
And then he strikes like a fucking boss or whatever, you know, like he goes up to the warden, walks up to him, "What are you doing, bitch?" And he's like, "Oh shit, don't hurt me. And he gets close. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. And then twists his nuts. Yeah. And the fucking warden is like, "Ah, my balls. Fuck you." Like, that's when he starts beating his ass.
Well, first he like punches him in the face or something.
Yeah,
to get away,
yeah. He
and then
fucking
like
knocks him back
starts
and then,
wailing
like,
with the cane.
Throw him in the hole or whatever. And we're on a lockdown, and that's when Herbert is like, well,
So there's
I'm
a little
here to
like
help.
I'm wondering about like this like little like it's like a time travel loophole in the fucking movie because I'm wondering in all that action before the lockdown, how was fucking Herbert able to write down the list for all the stuff he needed for the reagent for Howard?
Because he's a boss. He knows what he needs, man.
Because it's all like, because they tried to like keep West in the laboratory or whatever. It was like, or the med ward was like, oh, well, I asked Dr. West to assist me with a list of things I need. And they're like, fuck you. Like the lockdown still applies to you, West.
Yeah.
And
so like they're
Herbert gives him like the list.
Sort of
and
like
it's done, dude. And
like
then
a
he gets the shit.
resigned anger. You know, they were just like, all right, fuck off. Like you go back to your cell after you give him the list of ingredients.
I mean, regardless if it was before or after, Herbert has
But still, it's just like
access to
here you
write
go.
shit down.
Yeah,
you know?
This is like an ode to the badassness of fucking Herbert West. He's like, oh yeah, you have the list of whatever the fuck, like for my reagent. Here you go. You know, like it's only been like 10 years, but whatever. Like
that the kid 13 years ago that picked up the reagent became a doctor and tried to track him
and still
down.
wasn't smart enough to figure out.
And
what
he already had the
was
list
in it.
written like 5 or 6 years ago. He's like, okay, he'll be coming soonish if he's Doogie Howser.
Yeah. So
like that tracks, right? Like
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like he's his buddy. And I love that like within this same scene, like so like when Moses attacks when Moses attacks a guard, that's when the warden is there. The journalist lady who's interviewing the warden to try to get like a profile of him, and like I like it's really not explained. I don't know that it is
like why she's there initially. Yeah, I was always confused about that. Like she's doing
is she writing a piece on the prison, or because it changes instantly the second she meets fucking Howard. And I just thought it was funny as fuck because like Moses, you know, like mangles this dude and then like manhandles the warden's balls. And like within this same like event, Howard well, when they first meet, and I guess we sort of skipped that. When he first meets the warden, the journalist lady is there, you know, and she's like, so the warden is super creeping on her hard, You know, he's like, look, you're here to see this place, and I'm in charge, and you know, like you should probably give me a BJ or something, like, you know, maybe a reach around or whatever.
Quick
and she's
side
just like,
note for our listeners,
and then like fucking
Roland
Howard comes in
pulled out his
sort of
notebook.
half-ass saver. You know, because he's like, hey, I'm
God
new
damn it,
here.
Roland.
And she's like, oh, fuck, cool.
You know, I don't think he was necessarily trying to save her. Is that he just mentions that he's a doctor and she gets
It was another coincidence.
She gets all wappy.
Yeah, she was like, she meets him and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm the new guy. And she's like, anything you can and will say to me will be misquoted or taken out of context. I was like, wow, you thirsty bitch.
Dude,
and he's like
thirsty scene from her.
Yeah.
A super thirsty scene from her was fucking Howard had his little bag of shit that
right.
had, like,
yes, I was going to go right into that.
And
do all doctors have
hits
such
it with
a
the
personal
fucking cane.
relationship with their tools? It's like, oh,
he's
that's definitely not a penis joke. Okay,
sure. Excuse me?
zip, you know.
I have a boner.
And then that's when the fucking warden's super jealous, like fucking immediately like tap, like, hey, what are you doing here with that bag? Like, we've got all what we need here. And he's like, okay, dude, whatever.
Well, no. Howard goes like, because the warden's like, well, we have a fully outfitted,
right, yeah,
like,
which turns out to be bullshit.
And then Howard's like, well, these are mine.
A fully stocked
and then the
lab,
chick's
right?
all like, ooh, do all doctors have a personal attached to their tools?
Yes.
And
Which,
he's
again,
all,
like, it turns out to be bullshit because when Moses goes into the fucking medical lab or whatever, it turns out like they don't even have like a first aid kit. He's like screaming at the actual nurse that's there, get me this, and she's like, we don't have that. Oh fuck. And then Herbert is like, well, just use this. And she's like,
yeah.
Oh shit. And then fucking Howard is like, go get that bitch. And she fucking goes off, you know, and like gets whatever the hell they need. And then they stick Moses with the reagent at that point.
Wait a minute.
Bring him back.
No. Well, first when Wes gets brought into like being a medical expert,
right.
The nurse is like fucking up, like she's like all like unstable and she can't get the fucking syringe into the IV line.
Hot.
And then
just to preface the rest
Howard's
of the movie,
like,
this
Dr.
chick
West,
does not wear a bra under that goddamn lab coat. She
does.
No, she doesn't.
In the movie, she does.
Really? Because towards the end of the movie,
the scene. No,
Moses attacks her and he just like pops a button and boom, she's naked. Like, fuck,
Roland,
what?
She did not wear a shirt, but she wore a bra. And it got split.
With that one button, he fucking took them both out. All right, okay. The point is she's hot and it's great. But they don't have, and they make a point of saying in that like they don't even have enough for a first aid kit before he comes along. Contrary to what the warden is trying to like put out in front of Howard and Laura. And,
Laura, yes.
Within that same scene, like they're all there, you know, Moses attacks this fucking security guard. They get him under control, they take him away. The warden goes and like put some ice on his nuts or whatever. And Howard meets her again in the parking lot and is like, I'll give you a ride home. You know?
Oh, but very importantly, right before that, when she was like taking off and like trying to like flirting with Howard.
Yeah.
When Wes leaves, he said like, you know, like watch her or whatever. She's
right.
trouble.
She's dangerous.
No, she's trouble. That's what he said.
As always, Howard is.
You mean Herbert?
Excuse me,
Herbert.
God damn it, Herbert.
Both begin with an H.
Yeah, it's a little tricky there. You know what? From here on,
Be professional.
He's West. He is.
You bitch. What a
he's not
cop-out.
gatekeeping. He is. He's safeguarding. He's safeguarding any kind of sexual advances or sexual.
Don't you be a monster creator fucking apologist. Because those monsters have
out for that
rights
pussy, all right?
too.
It's gonna get
And
you in
MoQuest
trouble,
Law,
son.
we got your backs. reagented fucking dudes and animals.
He is the voice of
Ratty,
reason.
we're going to
the
help
voice of
you out,
logic,
man.
the
We're
voice of
going to get you
science
out of those
throughout all
fucking
of
air
this.
ducts.
So ipso facto again, like
Roland.
Howard.
Roland. So, just point of order real quick. This is now like the fourth or fifth time you've said
I've said it
ipso
a lot.
facto in this
I like
episode.
it. Look, this is my favorite phrase of the episode.
And you
okay?
give me
Let's
shit
stick
about
with it.
saying quasi.
Let's stick with it. I
Fuck
know,
you, bitch.
Hey, you know what? And
Quasi,
I knew
ipso
that's what you were gonna
facto,
fucking
like-
try to be a bitch about. I knew it. I fucking knew it. But that's
Oh,
okay,
I knew
Daniel.
it. I knew it.
appreciate that.
Actually, it was my whole plan all along. Use ipso
Yeah.
facto a bunch of times, and I would lure you into my little trap because I'm Roland and I'm devious. Fuck
you got
you,
me, you
bitch.
bitch. Except that I've got a handful of those, and you've just got quasi. So fuck you. All right. So
Oh yeah. But at least I scattered them throughout the episodes. You weaved in four within like 5 minutes.
I've got
you bitch.
a few catchphrases within each episode, and I'm cool with that. I've got some variety. Excuse me.
Oh, a variety saying the same shit 4 times in a row in an episode within
In one
15
episode,
minutes.
maybe.
Cool.
If
Cool.
not, like
All right,
5 or
Roland.
6.
No. Like we'll like play with your fantasy, continue with the narrative.
I will.
I guess.
I will. I'm getting there. May I
Get your
continue?
notebook back up.
So I want to just like bring the synopsis a little bit more of in a condensed towards the end, because we've introduced the characters. We have the
But
journalist.
we're just
we
about
have
to get to like
Howard Phillips. Well, no, we'll get to all that stuff.
We have not gotten to the meat of this movie yet.
Like the rest of the movie itself is just Herbert West
full
and Howard
bare ass
Phillips
cheeks.
trying to
Which I
advance
called
their
when we were
reanimated
watching.
agent.
Yeah.
And what happens is that, of course, whenever this occurs, chaos ensues. And of course, Herbert and
plot.
Howard reanimate Moses first.
Yep.
And then the journalist ends up dying.
Right. Yeah.
Because
because the warden is a fucking
Yeah,
creep.
because the warden tries to
Like, he tries
get on her and
Again,
then-
like another
Well, he
weird
tries to
scene
get-
where
like, he basically
the
forces
warden
her
and,
into a
the
situation
journalist
where-
are in the room with Moses, and like the warden basically kills Moses again.
well, doesn't she actually wants to go and like interview?
Right,
so to
she
speak.
tries to go and
Right.
interview Moses,
Just gonna tell like the
and
deep
then like the
story,
warden
that deep
comes in later and
journalism.
just beats
Yeah.
his ass.
Yeah,
Like with his cane again. Like
and
this
he
is-
kills her, right?
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes.
kills.
So what happens
so-
is that Moses attacks the warden, bites off his fucking ear.
What is that noise?
That's
Oh, it's a TV. Oh no, I just wanted to know. I thought it was this thing.
so. Moses attacks the warden, and bites off his fucking ear, and the warden just beats his ass essentially, basically to death, with his fucking cane. And Laura's in the room, and she's like, "Well, you did it in defense or whatever." And he's like,
Well,
"Well,
dude, and it's fucking
yes,
funny
but you need
because
to prove
he
it.
had his,
so get down
well,
on your
no,
knees
the
and bark
warden-
like a dog." And now,
But before that, the warden had like a total like sprinkle crack on a moment because
Right, yeah,
he loosened up the
exactly.
straight
He came at
jacket
me or
on the
whatever,
dude,
and he was
he's like,
excited.
Yeah.
Now give me a blowjob, Laura. And then she's like, I can't. And then like he chokes her to death. you
Well,
know, and
because
then-
Yeah.
she like gets down on her knees and then she sees like
Barks like a
the
dog.
doors open, so she tries to lunge for it, and he
Right.
stops her and chokes her to death.
Yep.
Right,
and then
yeah.
she ends up in the medical ward, and they inject her with the reagent.
And we mentioned this earlier. I don't know if we were recording at the time, but Roland, you mentioned that when Howard, who has already started an intimate relationship with the journalist.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a weird sex scene at some point.
Immediately
Yeah.
following Moses attacking the security guard and the warden.
They bang.
They bang that same night. Like they go and like she basically tries to cook some dinner and it burns to fuck. And they're like, "Well, that pizza was really good."
I think we
We
see
ordered-
like Howard's
we,
ass at
yeah,
some point. Yeah.
full,
Like, real
full
quick,
ass.
though,
and,
like,
and, like
all
I
this
told
is
you when we were
going
watching
on,
this, we're
but-
gonna see some full ass. It's probably
Yeah.
gonna be
His.
Yep. And I was like, "Fuck."
His reaction to her death is comedic.
It is,
if you will.
fucking hilarious.
It's bad.
Over the
It's
top.
bad.
Yeah, it's like it's a first year
the camera is what
freshman
makes you laugh the most.
drama student
Yeah,
reaction.
exactly. Whoa, my nookie, it's gone.
And just in Reanimator fashion, Herbert
injector ass.
and Howard injector. Yes,
but slight change. They use the
MP.
They use the nanoplasmic
that was later.
energy.
But they use it later, dude.
Right. They use it later. What happens is that they bring her back. They inject her with the reagent, and she's kind of zappy or whatever. You know, like bark, 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 bark. You know, she's
as
like
usual, yeah.
she's reenacting like I guess what were her last moments. And the warden comes in. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is a lab. This is illegal. How dare you? You know, whatever."
You know what's funny is that
first
like,
he's
he
wondering
does have the
where the
reaction,
body was.
the fact that she's
That
dead.
she's alive. Yeah, he freaks out. He's like,
Yeah, he's
"Fuck!
like,
I
oh,
killed this
shit."
bitch.
Yeah,
I need to protect myself." And he starts looking at West's lab that they have set up.
Yeah.
And when he turns his back, fucking Herbert picks up a goddamn like microscope and crushes his skull. And they're like, "Oh,
It was
he's
pretty
probably
metal,
dying."
man, from a science perspective.
Right? Yeah, he's probably dying. Let's get the HPE out of him or whatever. Which
NPE.
pretty much means they strap him down to a table and shock his ass. And it's really funny because they're like, "He doesn't seem to be dying." Well, just give it a minute. Just bzzz, and he must die. Like,
But they
this is again-
injected him with the rat.
Right.
MP
So
or-
that was later. That was
That was
later.
la- that was
what
later.
happens first is that West electrocutes him to extract the nanoplasmic energy. And then they use that on Laura
That's
to bring
right,
her
yeah.
back and to make her more lucid, which it does work with a certain caveat, which I can get into in a minute. She comes back, you know, like very lucid and just slightly twisted, slightly. Oh my god!
Yeah, she has a bit of a bit more of aggressive behavior.
Right, yeah, and her voice changes a little. They like overdub some like a fucking evil voice kind of sounding.
Well, it's pretty much
thing.
like the warden's voice.
Right, and yeah, because they inject her with his energy. She escapes, sort of to the rest of the ward, which at this particular time a riot starts because Cabrera, which was one of
He's like the main guy.
which is like one of West's not his associate, but like he was another inmate in the prison,
and he has like almost like a grudge against West because
he's got a pet rat named Ratty.
Well, Ratty, and I talked about this earlier, but Ratty was number 18 for West's experience.
So yeah, it's one of his experiences. He pulls the HP out of it. He fixes him later, gives him back to Cabrera.
Roland. You keep fucking that up. It's funny.
MPE, whatever. Nanoplasmic bullshit. He pulls it out of the rat and then fixes him with another rat's energy or something like that. Gives him back to Cabrera. And then after Moses, because Moses doesn't die again.
Well, yeah, because we talked about the fact that like he's been like he's in like his like a solitary confinement kind of situation.
He escapes.
Yeah, he does.
He
And then
escapes.
that's because of the riots and shit. Like
Right,
that.
yeah. So ish. So like
Ish,
it's not
yeah.
really explained. Like what happens is that he escapes from solitary confinement and goes back to his original cell, which he shared with Cabrera.
Oh, right.
And then that's like when Cabrera is like, "Oh, hey, Ratty, give me a kiss," and then fucking Moses reaches over,
puts it in his mouth,
and
yeah.
puts that bitch in his mouth. You know, and that's when fucking Mondo or whatever the hell that security guard's name
Security
comes
guard,
over,
yeah.
and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" You know. And like Cabrera pulls the rat out of his mouth, or I forget if it's that, or Moses spits it out.
No, dude, Moses spits it and
He
it
spits
hits
it
the
out,
guy in the
and then the
face
rat-
and it bites him.
Yeah, it bites Mondo in the face, and then like gets in his shirt or something, and he's just there like freaking out, you know, like get it out. He kicks it out of his leg at one point, and Cabrera jumps his ass, knocks him the fuck out, and takes his keys, and then opens all the cells in the prison and lets everybody loose and starts the riot. And that's where the most interesting part of the whole goddamn movie starts. But at that point, the warden has already been electrocuted, and they pulled out his plasmic energy or whatever the fuck, and he's on the verge of death. They put it into Laura, She's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. She starts freaking out and saying, "You were just using me as a test subject. Fuck you. Like, I'm out of here." But she still has her like she's still having some side effects from the
she's
from the reagent
Yeah,
and from the NPE.
Yeah, the aggressive nature of herself, her is like coming from the
Right,
warden's
exactly.
energy, so to speak.
And so while Howard and Laura are trying to like, work with each other kind of thing, the warden is left alone, still alive, with fucking West. And West is like, okay, you know what? Like, I had this other test that I wanted to try because originally he was going to use the NPE of Ratty on Laura. And
Howard was against
and Howard
that,
was
right?
like, no, you can't do that. And that's when West is like, look, bitch, it's energy. It's the same from rats to dogs to humans. And Howard is like, no, it's cross species. Like, what, bitch? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about because fucking West doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. Like,
Yeah,
it's all
well, I was going to say,
bullshit.
like, I mean, he was kind of onto something
right.
with that, is because
But again,
whenever we find out
this is
later on,
all experimental.
West injects the warden with Ratty's.
And this was
NPE.
the impetus to extract the HP from the warden because he's like, all right, look, bitch, you want to make Laura normal? Then let's take the energy from the human. Like, no complaints, like, and there we go. Like, so he uses it on him. After the fact, the warden is there in a near-death state, or if not, I don't know if he's like completely dead by this point, but what happens is that Howard straps his ass down, Herbert West straps the warden down and is like, all right, I'm left to my own devices. I'm going to do this shit. And he brings out Ratty's fucking nano energy and injects his ass. And you see like a little segment or whatever of the warden's view or whatever. Like everything's just very blurry and he's just like looking at West, just talking shit to him. Like, oh yeah, we're going to try this out and see if it works. Like, hey, cool. You're alive, or whatever. He fucking injects him with it. And the warden comes back and starts turning into a fucking rat. Like he's buck-assed.
Well, he doesn't turn it like he's not turning into it. Like he just has
just like
rat features.
He's got rat features. He's like a half
Big rat ears.
He's like a half-ass werewolf in London. Like it doesn't turn completely cool. He gets the fucking rat fucking ears and like the teeth, and he does the whole or whatever like throughout the whole thing. And West is the whole time just saying, "Oh, hey, look, I guess the prison's rioting. Like there's what is it? Let's see. I like to stick around, but I can't. There's an early release program, and I qualify." But I'm just gonna leave the door open for you, so like
the prisoners can find him and shit.
Maybe
like,
they'll
they're
come
gonna fuck
find you,
him up, yeah.
and he fucking runs off.
And obviously
at
that doesn't
point.
happen, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Like
It does
the
not,
warden
'cause
gets
he
up
escapes.
and like he goes and like
He
dominates.
he like chews through his fucking like his fucking restraints.
Yeah, he
Nice.
chews through him. He fucking picks up his cane and he goes out after him or whatever. And at that point is when Howard and Laura are sort of
They're like scuffling,
right,
and I
he's
mean,
trying to come to grips with.
there's a lot of shit that goes on in between this whole
So I
riot.
wanted to ask
Indeed.
you guys, when Cabrera, I watched this and I forgot.
I think they're gonna try
How-
and rape Laura, right?
No, yeah, he does.
Yep.
He tries.
Yeah.
Like she goes off and like separates from Howard, and then she runs into Cabrera, and he's like, "Hey, chica, time for some penis." And she's like, what? Like, I probably wouldn't feel it anyway. And at some point, he gets fucking like
Because Howard
cut-
has the biggest dick.
How does Cabrera get cut in the fuck half?
She does it. She rips him apart.
Oh, that's right.
She
They don't
murders,
show it, though.
No, they don't.
Like,
That's
don't show
right.
it, though.
That's
Or
right.
something like that,
But
dude.
he's
There's,
not
like,
in-
just
he's not
body
injected
parts
with the
and people all
reagent or
over the
anything,
place,
right?
man.
Not at that point, no.
He's not.
It's the warden that does it, I think.
Right. Well, the
Yep.
warden injects Mondo.
Well,
Well, no,
the
he
warden-
injects these inmates too because he's like,
Yeah.
he gets into this like weird philosophy as he's like reanimated. It's like, oh well, like the death sentence is like too quick for like their crimes.
Yeah.
So like, what if we can have like punish in like in perpetuity, basically? And so
this
they
one
like
he figures
hangs
out
these
that like
guys and
this
injects
reagent is
them.
what is
So
bringing
there's,
everyone back to life and all that crap. Like he's pretty sharp. He's a fucking pervo out the ass, but it doesn't take him much to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Right.
So
I mean, I guess the main point or the main part of this whole ending of this movie is that there is a riot going on in the background. There are a lot of inmates that have been reanimated.
that's when all the fucking fun like body horror. comes in.
Howard
It is so
and
great.
Laura are
It's so great.
like scuffling because
Fighting.
he wants
like, to the
her
death.
to like
Yeah.
be alive,
And she wants him to
die.
kill him.
Yeah, she wants
she's
to
like,
die.
I can't control myself. I'm angry and evil. So
yeah, and she attempts to kill him like a few times.
Man, she does
And he
like she
is
does like
just-
a crab walk on his face.
Right. Yeah.
And then at one point, like she like basically like vice grips his face into her vag.
yeah.
And he's just and she's just there like, kill me. He's like, can't
I
breathe.
can't.
That's
do
just
it.
like punching him in
Emily.
the face. Yeah.
We had mentioned this when we first saw this. I think you made a comment, Roland, is that when as a young Howard Phillips is like playing around with his sister, like he goes between her legs, and it's just this
Yeah.
weird relationship going on.
Yeah.
And I think that carries on to the very end of the movie where he keeps he refers to her as
There's a lot
Emily.
of-
yeah.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just
he does.
and he's calling this girl Laura Emily, and he had
he's
sex with this girl.
fucked
Like,
her, yeah.
It's just weird.
At least twice.
And that's probably like a whole other deep dive into this
Or
movie.
I would say by the way the end of the movie is, in that she ends up with like a huge dom, like she pulls off her like coat and like she's wearing like lingerie.
Well, should we talk about
Like this
the
vest.
second dick sucking scene?
No, not yet. But what my point was in saying that like instead of Howard fucking her, she probably fucked him more accurately. Because yes, like as you were saying, Daniel, at one point, fucking Rat Warden like gets back to meeting with Laura, and he's like, "Look, you need to prove to me again. Give Daddy a
Yep.
kiss." And then like she's just like scared for a few seconds, and then she looks over at Mondo, the zombie Mondo that's there, like watching them, like, "Go for a walk, bitch." And then she like rips his pants down, like, and starts blowing him for all of 5 seconds before she rips his nuts off.
rips his dick off.
She
bites
rips his dick off
yeah.
and spits it out, and Ratty comes and picks it up and starts playing with it, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
it's the
we
funniest
see
shit.
the
It's fucking
I guess the
hilarious. This is a fucking like Piranha 3D
Reanimator
kind of
Ratty.
yeah we see the dick
yeah.
multiple shots.
The fucking
Yeah, like,
warden
there's,
is
like,
like,
3 or 4
oh,
scenes
this
with the
feels
dick
great. This
being
feels
fucked
great.
by the rat.
Crunch.
Right.
Nope, it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this movie, we have all this shit happening. The cops or the security take
Right.
Howard away,
Right.
and there's a decapitated Laura because he cut off her head,
Right. He cuts over her head.
and she's still animated
Yep.
at this point.
Yep.
right.
And
They
then
pull
we
like a full Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, basically,
ending,
yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
Freddy
Yeah,
gets
he-
his head cut off in the end.
He winks,
and
yeah.
you see,
And then,
you see Jason walking with it,
yeah.
and he's like, and he does the same thing.
and as,
I like that.
As in
fucking
typical
thought that was
fashion,
cool.
Herbert escapes.
Yes.
And we
Funny enough.
Well, dude, it's brilliant how he escapes. Can I
Yeah.
cover this?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Daniel, go ahead.
So there's a moment where at like the end of the movie where Herbert comes upon Howard.
Yes,
and
thank you,
Like
thank
tries
you.
to console him.
I wanted to go over that.
about like
Perfect.
we didn't know the sign, but like he had severed her head
Yeah,
off.
because
and he was holding
Howard,
it in his lap.
excuse me, because West
But,
is like, oh, my assistant, like I need you. And then
But he fucking takes his ID card for some reason and
because
uses that
like
to escape.
he cuts bait, dude. Like at that point, like he sees that Howard is like, oh, he's fucking nuts. Like I can't work with this bitch.
He's
I'm outta
like,
here. I'm outta here.
he's more of a lost cause than Dan
Yeah.
was. in
He's
the
like, no,
beginning.
fuck you. Like Howard is
Well,
just
dude,
like, I
but the
saved
thing
her.
is,
I
he
saved
had
her. I
already
will bring
like
her
planned
back.
that, I think. Because earlier in the movie, he tells like somebody's like, "Oh, there's an early release program today, and I'm eligible or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
tells
I
us that
think
was
they
the
already
joke,
had planned on stealing his ID to get the fuck
yeah.
out of there.
I don't know if he planned on stealing his
dude.
ID.
Like, I think that was just more of
I think he just planned on escaping because that was his moment. Because
I'm just saying that if I wrote this movie, that would be my motivation.
Yeah. No,
But,
dude. So like when West sees Howard there, like fucking hunched over the decapitated Laura, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's worthless. I can't work with him." And he just fucking like slowly like zip takes his fucking ID card and just like walks off. Like okay, dude, see ya, peace. That was fucking great. I like, oh man.
Well, and then it's brilliant. Like at the end of the movie, which like we'll go back to like some earlier scenes, I think. But when Wes escapes, he's pushing a gurney with a body on it, and a like cop is like, "Well, who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Dr. Phillips, Howard Phillips, you know, and who the fuck are you? Because I want to tell like,
man, it was great.
I want to write down who it is who let this patient
I want to
die.
report who the fuck is like stop me from living this life." Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, fuck off."
The cop just shuts himself. Was like, "All right, go." And he fucking walks off like a fucking boss.
I think it's pretty great that we have Herbert West just.
He still has the best lines.
Getting away.
As always.
Yeah, he's just walking away. Like
best lines as always in every fucking movie, which I fucking love.
I agree with you on that.
He does. He's so funny.
So at the end of the movie, Herbert escapes. Not even, I wouldn't even say escapes. He just walks off into the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we can only speculate what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
You know,
we will speculate in the script.
So as we've gone through this whole movie already, we want to talk about as we normally do.
You know what? Yeah. Before we go into the ratings,
we're not going to go ratings yet.
Okay, I want to know why the hell you thought this was better than the second.
No. We'll go into that in just a second. And when he goes into the ratings, he can explain himself. He can argue his point. But before we do that, we want to get into particular things that you like about the movie specifically. And you know what? Before Roland, you go, I want to give Daniel his his opportunity to say what he likes or dislikes about this movie.
Do it, bitch.
Go ahead, Daniel.
One thing that I like about this story is that it's a potential redemption story for Herbert West.
How so?
Where he finally gets the opportunity to like put his, because like now the reagent and a doctor is suitable to like get him his shit to make the reagents and then integrate the NPE. So you mean
redemption is in like in the context of his science and in his research? Okay. Mm-hmm. I thought it was because like as in a person because he doesn't change it.
No. Herbert, you really can't argue
he
like his
consistent.
You can't argue his fluctuation in personality. Like he is consistent from day one, and he just goes deeper into like his scientific explorations.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that like this was a potential for like scientific redemption, for lack of a better term. But one thing I want to go into, guys, because Roland, thank you for bringing up the second potential dick sucking scene where a little head happened and then she bit the dick off and then the rat played with the dick. So when I asked you guys earlier off mic if you guys saw the end credits for this movie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. No. We did not.
No.
There is a scene where it's shadow play, where it shows the mouse and the dick fighting each other.
What?
Yes. Like,
that is awesome.
I encourage you guys to look it up right now and watch that shit.
No, don't do it yet. We'll get into that. We'll check it out.
Dude,
that's fucking funny. I did not know that.
Dude, yeah.
That's not what I was expecting at all.
So yeah, apparently the dick reanimated and had a beef with the rat.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
God damn it.
I wrote that shit down. That's how important it was to me. Like, and so another favorite moment of my movie, or for this movie that I loved was
damn it.
It really bleeds into my favorite quotes for the movie. But and it's the only quote I wrote down for the entire fucking movie. But after West and Cabrera have like one of their final showdowns, West says, and I quote, "That's quite enough of you, essay." Like
You know,
I rolled that footage
I think it's
back
just
because I
hilarious.
was like, dude, did it like because there was like a pause and then the essay was kind of like quiet. So I was
Yeah.
like, dude, did
You know,
I
it's funny that
did I hear
Herbert
that?
says that. Yeah.
All right. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
this is
no,
the,
like,
the
go
dialogue, the Spanish. It's again, it's very 90s essay. Cabron.
And another thing I love about this movie is that you had multiple characters with very clear motivations that
Right.
interweaved into making these shenanigans happen.
It was a lot of
I mean,
coincidences.
There was like the stupid love story between the
Howard and
Howard and Laura, but still like it motivated her to investigate further, and then that caused
And bite off
chaos
the
because like
warden's
what if
dick.
just Moses was left in that cell? You know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she did. Go
Because
for it.
oh shit, because then fucking about 10 minutes after the warden re-murderized, he thought fucking Moses, West is like, we need to get Moses down here and inject him with the NPE. So that would have happened anyway, dude. So like this movie, without the interference of the fucking journalist dude, like this would have probably been like a scientific like discovery success for West and his new accomplice, Dr. Phillips.
Right on.
Yes, actually, it would have been a lot more likely that happened because the warden wouldn't have murdered Laura.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but and also he
And
would
so
have been in
if
that
he had
situation,
not
dude,
killed her,
because like
he wouldn't have found the lab, kind of thing, because that was an event that led to that, to him discovering, and then him getting his own ass fucking killed by West.
And what about you, Roland?
My favorite
yeah,
scene.
sorry.
Go ahead.
My favorite
Go ahead,
scene
bud.
is awesome, and that is when fucking the Cabrera torso is following fucking Herbert West throughout the whole like prison after the riot. He's like, rah, rah, rah. He's like, at this point, he's waddling around on his fucking two arms, and then when before the culmination of the entire movie,
Is it when
you
he
know-
flies?
Yes. When Cabrera fucking like he goes to the top of the stairs and like he jumps at Herbert West, a fucking torso like does like a 15-foot leap, whatever.
No,
at
he
West.
flies, bro. Like that's
Yeah,
what it
he's
is.
like
he flies.
and West just looks at him and like whaps his ass down with a fucking cane. Like okay, look, it's a tie between that and the scene before when West is fighting him and he pulls out his fucking like prison cred or whatever and he beats his ass and then he swings him around like giant swing with a rope and just fucking like throws him off in the side of the like off screen or whatever. But yeah, no, like when he jumps at him,
Yeah, that's
thought that
a
was
funny ass part.
fucking hilarious because he's just like West. He just turns around like, meh, fuck you.
It's almost the equivalent of fucking having bats on fucking Dr. Hill's head, and he's just flapping around, just screaming his name. They had to go extra ridiculous on the special effects.
So like
on
I
that.
wasn't really sold on this movie until the end of it, and when I started seeing all this, I was like, oh, this is great. That was fucking hilarious. So yeah, that would have to be my scene. The fucking like torso, the flying torso attack, failed attack.
I guess for me, I would just say that a lot of the body horror I felt was like
It was very lacking
I was felt like there's a lot of
Until the end,
missed
except for the junkie
opportunities.
scene.
until
Man.
the end of the
No,
movie.
well, even if that's the case, I would say like there was a lot of missed opportunities for the fact that there was, the guy that takes the reagent when he's alive, and then his fucking body like
Speedball.
just like
So like
speedball.
I thought they did
his
like a
fucking
nice.
explodes. Yeah.
I thought they did a nice Evil Dead. Army of
Oh, when it's like skeleton, he's like asking
Yeah.
for more.
Hey,
yeah.
you got
That's
more?
him, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy,
This guy takes the reagent while he's alive,
And
he
that was probably the best
He
body horror
explodes, like his
elements
body,
of that movie.
Like his gut just explodes.
Well, I mean, I would say that's a missed opportunity because like they
splatters.
kind of like cut away when that happens. But
Yeah.
there was
You hear
also
him- I
like
thought it was great
it
because
was
he
a bit
was
of a
laughing.
it was a bit of a redemptive quality because they put he's at the gate, he's at the fucking bars, and he's like, "Hey man, got any more?" Like,
he's not dead.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking gut explodes and he's laughing. And
Yeah,
he gets up.
he's just tripping hard. That's
More?
basically all it is.
Like he's shredded. Like he just
Yeah.
he should be dead. It was fucking hilarious.
I
love
think
the
that's probably
scene
my-
where fucking West comes upon him tripping on the reagent, and he's like shines a flashlight on him. And he's just like,
Interesting.
you shouldn't do that.
yeah. You shouldn't do that.
Curious.
Fuck you, man. Like you ain't me. And then he injects himself, and all of a sudden Wes gets interested.
he
He's
goes
like,
kaplow, yeah,
Yeah.
But he's like, what's this reaction? And he just like focuses to the flashlight, and then like cocks his head oddly, you know.
He's like, oh, he's
yeah.
fucked. Okay, I'm good. See ya.
and I would say like I guess that's to me that's the biggest comedic part of this whole movie. Like it just goes over the top on that. And just like I like with like even like again Evil Dead or like Army of Darkness. But what I still feel that Jeffrey Combs encapsulates even more Herbert West. And you said like goes deeper,
like
darker.
the spirit of West or whatever.
Yeah.
dude,
And
I
he
feel
just
it,
like
dude.
he just like
This is the
he's just that character all the time, and I just enjoy watching.
He's
Jeffrey
like
Combs.
always just like the science is the goal.
most
Fuck
concentrated.
bitches and don't trust anybody.
distillation.
And hey, will you be my friend?
right.
Those are like his
and-
conditions, dude.
He's awesome. He's
one of the
fucking
things I
awesome.
saw when I was watching the making of Bride and this movie was that the interviewer asked Jeffrey Combs, "So what does it take for you to get into the character of Herbert West?" And Jeffrey Combs literally just gets the glasses and puts them on, and literally like has
Just
no expression on his
transforms.
face, and he's just like,
That's
he's
what's
like
up,
literally that's
dude.
it, like that's all it takes for me to become
That's
Herbert West.
amazing.
He's so awesome.
And
Holy
it's fucking
shit.
great that that's the case. But that's
yeah.
probably the best part of the movie for me. What we want to move on to now is the.
Daniel,
You want to get into something?
why did you think this was a better movie than the second?
Hold on. That's rating shit. That's
Bitch.
rating shit. Hold on. Before we get into that and we do the ratings, you
do you
can
have?
argue your point whenever you rate this movie.
I want to hear what this.
Yeah, I know you want to.
You
want to. You want to. You want
How
to hear
dare
it.
you?
I know you want to hear it.
You've been raging for like 2 weeks now, dude.
I have. I'm waiting.
What we want to get into now is the movies that came out at the time when Beyond Reanimator showed up.
Hey,
Really, I thought there
before
was
that
more.
though, like, do you have any budget info for this movie?
Yeah, and,
Like,
and we'll
what
get
it
into
made
that
in the
just
box?
before we talk about that. The
Yeah.
budget of this movie was $3 million, and that is significantly less than the two previous movies
What
because
was
I think
the
the first one was, I think 10 million,
Dang.
and maybe just a little bit more for the second one, or less than the second one. But this is like way more, way less than the other two.
Yeah, this
but
was a sci-fi original,
It's
so.
because they made it cheap because they went to Spain and shot most of this movie over there because for some reason it is more lucrative to film a movie in Spain and get the actors that are more well established in that country. Hold on, Roland's pulling up the Reanimator budget in just a second here. Okay, so the budget for Reanimator, the first one, well, that's crazy. It was 900,000. That's not true. Right? No, the box office is 2 million. The budget was 900,000, and you know what? We can attribute that the 3 million for like inflation probably.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh no,
This is the
yeah.
80s.
Like we had to figure out
the
like
80s.
what like 900K
So for now,
was in 1983
Probably,
money.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
And so for Bride was at the time.
2.5. You know, no. Yeah, the budget was 2.5, so even less. But that was at the height of this particular movie. So you can attribute all that to the fact that it was the 80s. Now we're in the new millennia. We're 2003,
Yeah, hooray.
and they need more money for the to film a movie. But I mean, it was, I mean, equivalent. We could say it's equivalent to like the budget from the first one to even this one because we did have a different country and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
so regarding the movies that did come out in 2003, and we're gonna focus more specifically on horror movies.
Because there was a whole shit show in 2003.
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately,
like,
and
so
it was
like there was
bad.
Darkness Falls, Final Destination 2, Freddy vs. Jason.
I'm gonna say Freddy vs. Jason is probably the biggest hit almost on all this.
I fucking love
Dreamcatcher, which is an adaptation from a Stephen King novel. I did not like the book.
Yeah.
Dreamcatcher.
no shit. Okay.
I stopped halfway through because I felt it was like way too much fluff.
Yeah.
And Dreamcatcher is an okay movie. It's not that great, but Darkness Falls I couldn't stand, and but I did love.
I love the creatures.
I love the first few
The
minutes.
story
of
was
Darkness
trash.
Falls.
The story was absolute trash. The actors were garbage.
No,
I
I agree,
the
but
Tooth Fairy.
the beginning of the movie was really good. The rest of the movie sucked balls.
Yeah.
Final Destination 2 is whatever. More kills.
Freddy vs. Jason was great.
Roland, and I want to bring it close. I want to show you this. There's a movie called Goth on there that came out in 2003 as well. And that is the movie that I've been talking about for years, not on this podcast, but for, I saw it a long time ago. I rented the VHS from Hollywood Video.
Wikipedia doesn't say shit.
No,
about
it doesn't
this.
say shit, but it's a shitty movie, but it's one that I'd like a lot. And I can't really defend myself why it's something I love,
like it.
but it's just really shitty.
But
And
you know what, Ray?
we'll talk about it at
House
some
of the
point.
Dead
But-
also.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah. Yes.
But in Goth, is there a villain?
Technically, yes.
So
Technically. That
last
sounds
of the year for Cinekuest.
we're gonna get to Goth.
House of a Thousand
it's gonna be
Corpses,
special.
baby.
Yeah, we had House of a Thousand Corpses and one of the shittiest movies of all time, House of the Dead by
Jeepers
Yul Ball,
Creepers
the
2,
shittiest director of
baby.
all time.
When the Bullfest was coming in strong.
Yeah, and
Is
then
that
we
based off of the video game?
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
Oh
it's
There
my
was a
God.
sequel. There was House of the Dead 2.
it is one of the worst movies ever. I saw it in the theaters and I couldn't have been more disappointed.
You wasted your money.
I did waste my money. I was so angry. Going through, there's a lot of horror movies that are just sequels or rehashes.
Puppet Master, Legacy,
The one
Leprechaun
remake I
2.
will say that I did enjoy was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I did enjoy that remake.
Yep.
Everything else,
Underworld, I
Wrong
don't even know why the
Turn.
fuck
Wrong
that's
Turn
on
was
there
a
as a
fairly
horror.
mediocre movie. Willard
not.
was a remake.
Yeah.
And that one was okay. I mean, I forgot about it pretty quickly.
So there really wasn't much.
No.
No,
As far as horror movies are concerned, there
note.
wasn't much going on
Yeah.
in 2003.
Pretty shitty.
The
And
biggest thing
what's,
was everything's
best
probably
is
overshadowed by
I have
like,
not
the
Freddy versus
seen
The Grudge
any
2.
of those.
Which I don't know if that was the Japanese original or the
No,
American
it's
original.
The Grudge 2. I think that's the
That was
American.
the American original.
Yeah.
So like I saw it in theaters. The best part
The first one was
when
good. I thought the first one was good. The second one I didn't care
thought
for at all.
It was trash. The funniest part of
I saw
the
the
greatest
first
part of
one.
the whole
It was
movie
pretty
is when Sarah
spooky.
Michelle Gellar fucking jumps off the fucking skyscraper.
That's the second one. Yeah,
and kills herself. And I was like,
I felt
I
sad.
was the
I'm
only
sorry.
person in the
I
goddamn.
felt sad for the fucking movie.
I laughed. I was like, yes. It was dumb. It was so fucking stupid.
We're gonna go into our ratings now, and I want Daniel because Roland is very eager to listen to Daniel's reasoning for whatever he thinks about this fucking movie.
I'm
I'm gonna let Daniel go first to plead his case.
All right. So, would you like the rating and then my
Give us the rating and then give us your reasoning afterwards.
Your lies.
Your lies.
I'll give it a 4.65
What?
overall.
Okay.
Shit.
The only slights I give it against it is
Those
the
titties weren't that
overacting.
nice.
Even though like Howard's, reaction to find out Laura's death scene was hilarious, but there was a lot of like overacting going on. Just like, this is maybe one break, and there's like some franchise like history to this movie. Ooh. I'll definitely get on a Lifetime now for the Natalie Woods sequel.
One life to live, baby. Here I come.
But apart from that, I think that this movie is not superior to Reanimator, but superior to Bride of Reanimator. And I was thinking about it over this last piss break, and the most concise way that I can put it is that all this was a repackaging of Bride of Frankenstein, which is apparent, but Dan was the monster that they were making it for, because he had thrown his morals out the door to like help out Herbert, which encouraged him later to turn state's evidence on him to throw him in jail because he had like a call of like conscience or whatever. Like,
You're a self-serving little prick.
well, yeah, but like that's my little like tight weaving of like why Dan left and all this stuff. But yeah, but like Bride of Reanimator, like it did have the amazing bat head scene with Dr. Hill or whatever. That was fucking amazing. There were a lot of funny lines, but overall it was just like let's get the body parts and then dupe this guy whom I have partnered with on two continents.
How is this movie better than that, though?
Because it's all self-contained, dude, and you have like multiple angles in there. Like you have like the stupid love story. Like there was a stupid love story with like Francesca and Dan, and then in the movie before it was
Francesca's so much hotter than Laura.
Daughter of the dean, whatever their fucking name was, Hall or whatever. Yeah, where the fuck they were. But you have a stupid ass love scene, but the love scene actually like directly relates to the plot, because as we discussed earlier, had Laura not said, like, oh, I got to go for it from this guy I'm fucking randomly, she goes into solitary and meets Moses and all this shit, like she bribes a guard, like she gets him at least $200, man. Like, but
Okay.
So what was your rating again, dude?
4.65. But I think that this movie is like better because it's all self-contained, because it also shows like elements of West's life because he's still experimenting, and then that has repercussions with the guards, with his
Ratty,
with people nearby. Apparently, Ratty, which was one of his experiments, was a pet.
very dubious.
And then also you see like, I think in all of the movies you see West's calculated coldness the best.
Yes, I agree with that. I think
so I think that like all of that's like these various motivations of these characters, because I think that like Howard's shit was pretty cool too, because initially he went in kind of optimistic as fuck, like I'm going to work for this guy and we're going to raise people from the dead.
It kind of bugged me that this movie seemed more that in like Jeffrey Combs' character was like not even a co-star, like he was like a tertiary character or whatever. Like he was a plot device actually for Howard to be like going through the motions.
Well, actually, I think that's actually really perfect for West's character, because he's always tried to be like clandestine.
He's already been very established by this point.
Okay. So Roland.
Fuck this movie.
I need to hear this, bitch. Wait, actually, 1 second. Actually, Roland, shut up for like 2 seconds. I'll be right back, and we'll listen to your little nonsense.
You're
okay?
asking a lot of me. Damn, I finished all the seltzer drinks. Got beer. Doesn't work. I will get one. Bitch.
Great.
This movie sucks.
I won't go that far, but
It's fine, Ray. That's what I'm here for. Twin hats and hands. Yo. Hello.
Okay, so Roland,
All right. So,
before you start, I just want to let you know that after this little side bullshit, I will let you speak and say your point. But what I want to know is why you think this movie is the worst of the three.
easily,
but like give your rating and like why it like rocks or sucks, and then go into its impact on the trilogy.
For Beyond Reanimator, my rating for this is so I'm going to throw out a rating, but I don't remember what the hell I said for the others. By any chance, do you?
I don't have that information.
All right, fuck it. I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 5.
Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah. The plot is garbage.
I'm shocked by that.
The plot is absolute trash. The dialogue is a joke. I love Herbert West. He is always great. I do like the sort of, I guess, evolution of his years in prison and how it's hardened him or whatever, or rather distilled his resolve for science and research to where there is like no pretense and where he gives a fuck about anything else other than his studies. So I don't like this for shit because the second movie has way more body horror, way more comedy. I fucking love it. The first has way more interesting plot. There's just a lot more character, not necessarily development, but like involvement, I guess. This movie is like, again, like I'd said before, Herbert West is like not even a secondary or a co-star kind of thing. He's a tertiary character to this. He's already been established through the first two movies, and it's just like he's there. Like he's a pillar of plot, and things happen around him, but they're not driven by him. They are established and pushed through by fucking Howard, who is a simpy ass little annoying cunt rag. Laura is a joke of a goddamn character. She's amusing at best. The warden, again, same thing. Might as well be another fucking like plot device to push the fucking story along. He's just a creep throughout the whole thing. And like, if anything, like he's a comedic device towards the end where he turns into a rat or whatever. It's just like, ha ha ha, you suck. Your dick gets bit off. Whatever. Okay. There really isn't any furtherance to the research, the science that is established in the first and the second movies, I enjoy. In this one, it is just like very much a sci-fi original, very slapdash kind of thing. Oh, fucking Herbert discovered another nuance to the reagent and a supplement or an enhancement to it that he needs to work through. And like when we're watching this, when he actually like shocks, the rat and fucking the warden, they have like some real bad 90s CGI of like the electrocution, the synapses or whatever, like flowing through, like a zoom in of it flowing through the veins and like the fucking like anatomy in the body.
That was one scene.
Roland, no, it happened twice, bitch. It happened twice. It happened twice. It was fucking stupid.
What do you know about rat anatomy? And number 3,
apparently not enough. And I'm okay with that.
Agree with you about your analysis of the movie. Except
I did enjoy the.
I will agree with the tertiary role of like West. But fuck you, you're exaggerating like everything else. Like a little bitch.
You're just ornery. That's fine. I understand.
Oh, I'm ornery,
I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't because this movie sucks. But so
you suck. This movie is awesome, you dumb
Fuck
bitch.
that. Awesome. Compared to what? Like fucking like
Bride of Reanimator?
no.
For one.
I thought you were gonna say another sci-fi original like fucking Clowns versus Ferrets 3 or some shit or whatever the hell. Like some
Well, I mean, at least they hit their target audience of like dumbass bitches when you watch that fucking movie.
No. Some this
No, I'm
movie
smart.
was
I know word.
I do, and they good. So, yeah, no, this was super light on. And so, like, the first two movies were very light on plot and story to begin with. Like, they had their like main devices to organize the story and go through the reagent, the reanimating of the dead, and science. And this was just like,
Yes,
I mean,
but
holy
Roland,
fuck.
by the third movie, because
By
the
the
people that
third
wrote
movie,
this
apparently they
assumed
ran out of ideas
that,
because they got
I'm sorry,
boring.
these pompous ass writers assumed that people watched the first two movies,
Loving
so
it.
they saw the initial evolution of
And they
understanding
did
how
the
the
same
reagent
shit
came
20
about
years
and all the
later?
failed experiments. So then they could follow the plot of this movie, which is the third in a line.
Yeah, but
So
they could have
shut
tried
up,
a little
bitch.
harder. They could have tried a little harder. I mean,
In
come
what
on.
regard? In what
I don't know.
regard? Please
Any-
explain.
Any. You know what? Like, why
Bitch,
they? Why?
that's
Why?
not any is everything.
Why did
that's
they have
that's
to
not an
send-
answer.
Why did they have
no,
to send
give me
fucking
okay, Roland.
Herbert-
Give me one fucking like
All right, you know what? Like
Like,
fuck
not
sending
like
Herbert to
a-
jail. You know what? Like he
a
should have been
not
like.
Roland sentence
It would have
about
been way
how
cooler.
this works.
It would have been way
Okay?
cooler if Dan went to jail and then Herbert became like the fucking dean of a college or some shit, or like the manager of the hospital or some shit, and then he had like a whole fucking cadre of
Do you
goddamn.
think for a second that Herbert, being the manager or like the
Yes.
the head of a hospital,
Yes.
would have stayed
Yes.
in position
Yes.
because as cold
Because
and
he's that
calculated
bad
as he
fucking
is?
ass.
No, wait, like he would have just like he would have been using every
Because
fucking
he's a
dead
smart
body
son of a bitch.
to fucking reanimate
And nobody
somebody.
would
He would have been
notice.
fired a long
And
time
nobody
ago.
would notice because they're more.
No, dude, he would
Fuck
go like
that.
supervise the kitchens and then like reagent the fucking chickens and shit that are like on the board and they're like, all like
You know what?
hairless
Like-
and like, yeah.
Fuck this. Like he would have been sent to prison and then he would have ended up becoming the warden. Fuck this. That would have been awesome. All right.
All right.
Roland, how would
He is
that
a
have played out? Okay,
badass
so all
motherfucker.
right, so
No, you're not
Herbert
giving him
West
enough
goes to
credit.
prison for 14 years at least. How and he gets 12 months added on to a sentence by the warden
Which
for
is more
talking
bullshit.
back being
Fuck
a
that
scientist.
prick.
So call it 15 years.
Can they even do that?
No, they really can't.
I
Like
don't think so.
I don't think the warden has the
More
power
Hollywood
to
garbage.
just add so many years
You know
to your
what?
sentence because he
West
fucking feels like it.
Herbert West for president
Sure, why not?
or governor.
Fuck it, why not?
I want a state of reanimated goddamn voters.
Dig him up.
That would have been awesome. All right. Like,
Okay,
They
hold
dig
on.
up Georgia and they're like, shit, we fucked up.
Let me just give my rating real quick, and my rating
And-
is fairly.
Ray, would you like
Oh,
place
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie among
Ray,
the
you're still a
three and talk about how actually amazing Beyond Reanimator is because Roland's wrong?
whatever.
well, I'm gonna say I give this the like a middle of the road 2.75. And I'm gonna say that
Okay.
because first of all, you all haven't talked about this, but I'll say cinematography, it is fairly cheap and it shows to be
Yeah.
like a TV movie.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
I've
kind of
never cared
devalues
about
it for me
that.
a little bit.
oh yeah.
All right.
So-
Absolutely.
And that may not be like a criteria for you guys, but that is for me.
no,
It
no, no.
isn't.
I mean, we
And-
went over this before.
Yeah, and I will say that
Has the air of.
the acting itself was was pretty bad, and and I will say that mainly for the characters that aren't Jeffrey Combs.
The bees.
And I've seen this movie 3 times already, and the first time I saw it,
I was gonna ask.
I thought it was fairly shitty, and I was kind of ashamed that it's a part of the
How old
fucking
were you?
franchise. Second
How
time
long
I
ago
saw
was
it,
this, like in the 90s.
no, I saw it the same
Because it
amount
came
of time
out
you guys. It was like a couple
2003,
weeks ago, like 2 months ago.
Oh fuck. Okay.
When we first got it. I thought I had seen it. I hadn't. So, because I mean, there's so many movies I've seen.
but
Fucking
that's still
forget
funny.
it.
Like that's. Go ahead.
Like I said, the cinematography, the acting,
Subpar at best.
the plot itself,
Except for Jeffrey Combs.
I felt it could have gone a little bit deeper. Like I would have wanted to know more about what happened with Dan and the whole. You know what? I feel like there could have been a whole portion of this movie where it talked about Dan betraying Herbert and turning him over to the authorities.
That would have made more sense to
I
me.
feel like that would have been a nice little point of the movie to
this
explore.
movie would have been like way better, and I'd give it a straight like 3.95 if they had like flashback scenes to like the court.
Yeah, that would have been
scenes.
cool too.
Yeah, dude, that would have been awesome, dude. Where like, yeah,
and I can see that this movie feels a bit rushed, and that's why I'm giving it a 2.75.
It's sloppy.
I probably would have given it a 3, maybe if the cinematography would have been just a tiny bit better. And not to say that the other two movies had like the best either, but like I felt it was a bit more
way the fuck better than this.
Just a little bit more could have been
Trash.
added that extra
Daniel.
25 points to make it a solid 3. Yeah, like that would have made it just a little better. But I mean,
Like at least 1.5.
the plot itself, I felt was just a bit rushed, and they could have done a bit more. I mean, fucking Brian Usna fucking was co-writer of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
What
Let's get the fuck out of here. We could have done a little bit better, you know?
4-hour episode.
Okay. Saying
or
that, yeah,
movie.
we would have expected a lot better
Yeah, for sure.
for this.
So that's why I give it not a 3, but just slightly below that. Not to say, and again, I don't know too much about the entertainment culture of Spain, but maybe that is good acting to them, but I don't think it is.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so
Wrapping this up.
That is our ratings for this movie. But
Daniel.
before we end it, there is a portion of this trilogy that we haven't ever explored with the other ones. Because we want to go, the other trilogies themselves weren't exactly tied together from one like a linear story. We want to go into our potential sequel.
Oh yeah.
Should we leave that out for another?
No. We'll just throw this in there right now.
Revenge of the Reanimator.
There is a sequel that Roland and I have been kind of throwing around to. After Beyond Reanimator, it's called Revenge of the Animator. And Roland, you want to give just a very brief thought of what you want to, what your idea of how this movie should
Herbert
go.
escapes from all of his silliness, and he is hell-bent because half of him wants to further his research, and the other half is spiteful. It wants a piece of that fuck Dan cow tipper, because what the hell? Like, that motherfucker. I mean, granted, we all expected this. Honestly, Dan was a little bitch throughout the first, like both movies. And we really, West dragged him through everything. Like, look, bitch, we need to do this. We're scientists. And Dan was like, man, I just like...
He liked Dan. I love the girl. He was like,
I've got my Fabio
Dan is
shirt.
my friend, and I really feel like Dan could be like a really essential part of this creation.
And
or discovery.
so he gets betrayed. Perfect plot point, right? For West showing some of the even darker side of humanity. He's got a personality, goddammit. He's been spurned. So, yeah, you know what? Like, he goes back, finds Dan, and for some reason or another, a lot of vagina dies. I don't say, you know what? Like, just that we're talking about this, maybe she goes out like just in the same way as the cat does in the first movie.
Shit.
Like, she gets stuck in a fucking jar of peanut butter or some dumb shit. and Herbert is like, you know what? I'll bring the bitch back.
So basically, what we're saying is that he escapes from jail,
on
and
Dan.
he basically, is he taking revenge on Dan, or is he just like just trying to bring back a lot of vagina from her peanut butter escapades.
Both.
But why though?
Coincidence.
Coincidence?
It just so happens
Lazy writing.
he
There you
comes
go.
back. Yeah, lazy writing or perfect writing. Because sharp best plot.
Roland, I did have an idea for a prequel to Reanimator.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
what
right.
I wanted to say, and this may be like it's fucking stupid, but
Let's hear it.
I did want to bring this up to where
What you got, girl?
let's go back into biblical times. All right,
What?
hold on, wait, don't shut up, don't say anything. I just want to get this thought out. All right.
Oh, fuck.
We have a scuffle going around between all these people, and
He's gonna bring back Jesus.
hold on. There's a scuffle going around with all these people, and this is the beginning of the movie. By the way, this is the beginning of the movie. All right, this is before the title credits come out. There's a gentleman there who's like praying over someone, and this gentleman comes up, and he calls him. He goes, Hans, come here. Hans gives him has a cup, and he gives him this lifeless body some sort of elixir, and then he quote unquote reanimates, and then the person who was praying or like trying to like look over him goes, tell us your name, and he goes, Lazarus.
God damn it! Shut the fuck up!
Get out of here, bitch.
Shut the fuck up!
Oh my God, you're such a Bible boy.
That would be so funny
God
though.
damn it.
Mind you,
Maybe.
No, that's fucking
no, mind
awful,
you,
dude.
Maybe.
Hans Gruber, his ancestor is the 13th apostle.
No.
Gosh. What?
And but
Just
hold on.
Help.
The Christ figure finds out that he has this reanimating agent that would fulfill a prophecy told by the Old Testament, and he kills Hans Gruber. Mind you, he does have children who are just as smart as this Hans Gruber person is, but he's stolen his elixir while he's being crucified, and that's why he's
Bruce
fucking,
Willis is
he comes back to
Herbert
life.
West.
Fuck you, Ray. That is fucking
What?
no. Fuck you,
Jesus.
man.
And I'm saying
I love how
I'm
elaborate this is.
I'm
absolute trash.
I'm saying this because of the I felt the need to bring this up because of the prequel to Tremors.
What?
No.
Oh,
What you should have done is brought up
is
the Anunnaki.
completely
The
unrelated.
Anunnaki.
Thank you,
Stairway
man.
to
That would've made
Heaven,
so much
where-
more sense.
Well,
He talks about,
I
like,
felt the
fucking-
easiest way to approach a story of reanimation was
Sloppy.
through the story of the Jesus figure.
Lazarus. Jesus.
He says Lazarus. The person looks at the Hans character, and then the music comes on. Yeah.
This is elaborate, right?
And I'm gonna tell you right
No.
now, with
The
that
worst
shit, with
way.
that shitty plot,
The worst
I can like succeed in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fight me on that one,
All
right?
right. No.
Okay, so let's bring this movie to this episode to a close. My name is Ray,
This is Roland.
and in Pacific Northwest,
Oh, this is Dan.
We got through
and
this.
this is the end of our Reanimator trilogy. Stay tuned.
Christ.
Evil Dead's coming your way
Oh, fucking hell
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Get ready.
next time. See you later.
See you, dudes.
Groovy.
So now, Ray, are you going to look it up?
Yes, I am.
Fuck yeah.
Look up the ending to Reanimator so we can see the penis and the.
Yeah, it's the credits. I'm not sure like when it pops up, but like
I want to
it's-
see penis.
It is so fucking hilarious.
What the hell? Where's Plex? Oh, here we go. Some of a bitch.
Just fast forward all the way to the end.
Oh no, it's here.
We're still recording, by the way.
All right.
Bitching. I know I am.
Oh fuck. I see it.
You see what?
I was.
No,
Well, he's got the
you're
little.
just looking at the.
Yeah, the little clip. Come on, damn it! Wait. Where's the? Why is it not?
It's coming.
I can't wait for you guys
Yeah,
to
but
see
it's
this.
it. I should be we should be hearing. Motherfucker. This is bullshit.
Do you need to see like a? You need to hear a mouse and a penis kind of
Yeah.
like.
Squeak, squeak, squeaks.
Skeet skeet skeet.
From the windows to the walls.
Till the sweat drips down my balls.
Fight to the death. Coca-Cola?
Surprised they got a Coca-Cola sponsorship here. That's
I know, right?
Spanish Coca-Cola,
Oh.
made with real sugar.
You want a soda? With real sugar.
Oh, it doesn't show us, Daniel. It fucking cuts off.
Fuck. What the hell?
Dude, try to like YouTube that shit.
Go to fucking Tubi. Go to Tubi and see if it's there.
Because I watched the theatrical cut on the Amazon like movie sphere bullshit,
Yeah.
and I was like, because it's so good. And if that fails, like maybe try
There
to
it is.
YouTube it.
All right.
Maybe. No. It's trying to play Ghoulies.
Hey, Ghoulies go to college. You want to watch that shit, dude?
Well, why aren't we hearing music now?
I don't know.
It's weird. Oh, fuck. It's not gonna show it, man. Absolutely not. There's no way.
You know, I'm surprised that like these free stations show pretty much everything.
You gotta buy the Blu-ray, man. That's what it is.
I'll buy the fucking Blu-ray. Yeah, let me pay
I'll throw you half.
the next $80 for a fucking you know, it's worth it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll throw you 40. Really? No, you're full of shit.
For a Blu-ray box set of fucking Reanimator? Are you kidding me?
$40?
Nah, man, you're looking at $80, dude.
All right. Well,
Nope.
Get back to me.
Daniel,
we can't find shit here, man. Hold on.
nothing,
Let
dude.
me check Amazon. You said that's where you found it.
Well, he had to like sign up for like a trial subscription.
Well, no, I've got my brother's for Prime. I don't think it's available, dude.
Oh, I got you guys.
No. Wait.
I'm gonna send it through the
Oh,
Facebooks.
fuck, no. Wrong ones. Sorry, what?
Said he's gonna
I
send
got
it through
the
Facebook.
link for you. Yeah. So it's on Messenger now.
Hold up. On the,
I just saw like the still of it.
Yeah.
all right.
Enjoy, dudes.
All right. Why isn't it playing, man?
I don't know. Just let it go.
Yeah, but
Oh no, go back. Right there.
this is almost like bloopers, dude. Wow.
The fuck, dude?
Holy shit, that's gross. I want to see him crane kick him. What the fuck?
Yep, the little dick falls in, man.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's fucking gross.
It's like I had to like make you dudes aware of that because
That
that's
is
fucking
so
beautiful.
Funny, man.
That's
Holy
fucking funny, dude.
shit.
Wow,
That's so fucking great.
that's great.
Holy fuck. What a bunch of bullshit.
All right.
I'm gonna have.
I'm gonna stop that right there, and